Oh man, that was the coolest thing. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome back to the Video Village, my recurring viewers and Patreon subscribers. I thought we would take a look at the video for Ronald by Falling in Reverse today, which is with Tech9 and Alex Terrible. I haven't actually seen this video, although it's been out for almost a year. So I tried to kind of ignore the videos that I want to cover down the line. So I succeeded, apparently. And I'm really interested in checking this one out because Falling in Reverse has just done these absolutely amazing, really large scale, very epic videos. And I've already done 2 now on the channel. So if you haven't had a chance to watch those yet, definitely take a look after you are done watching this one. Yeah, what we do here on the channel, I'm a filmmaker, so I kind of guide you through the filmmaking aspects of music videos. So deconstructing the cinematography, some of what the symbolism means. It's, I don't really listen to the music as much, but, you know, I'm a longtime metalhead myself, and so that's why I kind of stick to that genre. Really, really enjoying it. Really enjoying all these amazingly, really large-scale videos that we've been seeing from some of these bands, and I've been covering quite a bit of Sabaton as well, which I feel like is very similar in, you know, the scope and scale as Falling in Reverse. So if you like them too, you know, go find them on my channel. You can join me on my Patreon actually, where you can get more insights into my own work. I'm a horror and sci-fi filmmaker. I do documentary work as well. And you get some BTS as well as more like early access. And I'm also a writer, and I'm starting to teach more writing as well. It's the thing I've done the longest, and I write I write monthly short stories, not weekly, because that would be insane. But I post them on there every month. I've done sci-fi and horror, and more sci-fi more recently. So it's something I'm really passionate about, and you can join for $1 and kind of check out the stories. Either way, let's get into the video, shall we? Oh, wow. Wow. Damn. All right, so it's only 50 seconds in, and I'm like, I need to pause this because there's so much going on. Wow. Where do we even begin? Because this song, it starts like at, 60 miles an hour. There's no lead up, there's no lead in. Lord. Okay, so we start with an interesting first-person perspective, which something I appreciate about Falling in Reverse, as well as the filmmakers that they work with, the director. I'm sure this is the same director. I'm going to check, but it looks like it's the same director as the other videos that I've seen. Yes, Jensen Noen, who has directed his other videos, the other videos that I've covered from him as well, like Prequel. There are so many movie references, which is so cool to see. So this opens basically on like a hardcore Henry first-person perspective, which, it's very first-person shooter, first-person perspective, like in a video game. And this looks like it's in like an ambulance, but it must be the biggest ambulance ooit. Oh, my Dutch came through. Ever. Because look at that. Doesn't look like any type of ambulance I've ever seen on the inside. So that's pretty cool. So he bursts through this. Oh, now you can actually see the CGI pretty well, which is really cool to see. So he comes bursting through here, which you know, he is in a studio on a green screen, and you can kind of see from how he's moving that he's hanging on these cords by his shoulders, or his hips actually, because that's where they turn. But it works so well, and look how cool this is. Wow. So impressive. And we have seen in all of these that he is like a villain. It's sort of like a villain origin story. Remind me what the story is again. I'm sure that the fans here in the comments really want to sound off on the like mythology around these videos, because it's been so cool and so cool to see. And then we go into this space, and this is very Matrix, where he jumps onto this fast driving bike. Very cool. Also love this part in the studio as well, where he's in the water and it looks so minimalist and so dark, which goes well with his tattoos as well, which are really impressive. And then these birds, of course, are very Lord of the Rings. They're ravens here, but in Lord of the Rings, it's the giant like eagles that end up, you know, everyone was like, why don't the eagles just, you know, take Frodo and like have them drop the ring into like in Mount Doom there. So I'm kind of curious like what he's actually being picked up by it. You see, so I'm curious like where he's going to be taken. Oh, so much going on. I love the city. It feels very Arkham, so dark, very Dark Knight, you know, and they love this sort of superhero element to it, right? I wonder which city it is. Is this a fictional city or is it an actual city? I would love to know. If anyone knows, that'd be great. So he gets dropped between these wizards here, which again, it's like a modern sort of Lord of the Rings vibe. It's like a blend between Lord of the Rings and the Matrix somehow. So that's sort of what I'm getting right now. But the color scheme is very similar to the previous videos. It's this really cool blue with the red. It's very stark, very, very, very cool. Just a wonderful color grading. It's so cinematic. And of course, like the visual effects, the VFX are just so crazy. And again, we have like the electricity. There's some other stuff that we've seen in the other videos as well. Look at that. What a beautiful shot here. It feels like the sky is very overcast, and it's like all of what's happening in the foreground here is sort of lighting the sky as well. And it just feels like it has such depth to it. I absolutely love this. And the cutting back and forth between the studio where they're singing and performing and like the short film, if you will, very seamless, very cool transitions, very cool camera movement. And then this here, he explodes and turns into this sort of mist. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's keep watching and see what's happening, because it boggles the mind, that's for sure. Wow. Oh. That's a very cool looking robot. Very Matrix. Yes. Oh wow. Werewolf Matrix.
Thinking the devil is making the crime of the people are evil and never know demon design is the opposite of a divine? No! Yes. The hell is in front of you, set and behind. I can feel every sign of a human decline. I'm believing the time is upon us when all of our people are blind. Yo! Red rain, saw it falling from a tower's dead plane. Head bang, Mandalay Bay Hotel out of lead cane. Sex change could get you caught up in death's range. He played sane, but really imitating Ed Gein. How did we get this way? Nigga, that shit to say when I get this way. Haven't affected this.
Wow.
Shit, wanna make a bitch decay. My son's mom, when gone, it was really wrong. I thought it was gone. The vomit, searching for my son, but I didn't go John Muhammad. So the devil's right here on this level, wipe tears. Cause when rebels ready to pop the heavy metal, I fear. Abomination, they've been faking, consecration, hating, wasting education. Got the killer on the killer, gotta chase him. Go! Go!
Oh man, that was the coolest thing. Okay, let's go back for a second because all this stuff. So he basically just like turns into this sort of bloody mist and starts like, I don't know what his superpower actually is. It seems like he has quite a few. Like he turns into a wolf as well. Like, what is that? And then we see this robot, which is one of the coolest robots I've seen in a while. There's so much going on. So he here gets, this is such a cool moment. Let's take a look at what actually happens here because everything is so quick. I need to go frame by frame. So the robot wakes up, then grabs him, and then starts like scaling the wall like a bug and takes him up. I don't know what the role is of this thing. It does look like a sentinel a lot, like the Matrix robots. Okay, and then this whole sequence. And I mean, he's also wearing like the long leather jacket. It's giving me a very, very strong Matrix vibe. And then this whole sequence obviously is very, very Matrix. He even jumps out the window. He's being shot here. This moment, it's so epic. He starts transforming here already. But this is such an epic moment, and it's so quintessentially Matrix. Very, 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 very cool. And we have this moment where, the helicopter explodes. He's out there. And then this guy shows up, which is Tech 9. And he starts rapping. And he's dressed in white and is wearing a crown. And now, white on characters is very symbolic. It's often used to signal sort of purity, sort of like Christianity a lot as well. Often we see it on women where the woman is dressed in white, which is also supposed to like show her virginity. And now, so I'm wondering, like, is he then, this whole story about also with prequel, as I believed it, prequel was like his coming into his role as a villain or as a messiah type figure. And now here's, he's really sort of more embracing the evil. It feels like I'm probably off on the timeline in these videos. So please correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like this is sort of a battle between bad and good, which is so interesting. And I love the genre blending here as well because it works so well. Is it me or is this song just a lot harder in general from what I've heard from Falling in Reverse so far? It feels like he is, like his screams are a lot harsher. His vocals are a lot deeper. Maybe it's just because the other songs I've heard weren't quite as like rough as this one, but I'm like, whoa, I'm blown away. So a lot of this was shot on green screen. The visuals are so extensive. Like I can honestly like see Jensen Noen going to directing, heavy VFX Marvel films or even like some of the Marvel TV shows after doing this, because he's really showing like he's very capable with directing for VFX, and that's a skill that they often look for in directors for those kinds of TV shows. So it's just, he's got an incredible portfolio at this point to really show his skill and his craft. So really cool to see. I love this continued collaboration between Falling in Reverse and this guy. And so then they have this whole sequence where they're on this rock together. Ronnie is sort of like in the background there. He's just sort of like hanging out in the background here, which is so fascinating. And it's just all about him in the foreground here. And he is just also splattered with blood, which is really standing out on this outfit, which is a really cool costume because it has something a little bit like old school militaristic to it still. And it's sort of between like a lab coat and like a uniform. You know what I mean? Very cool. And he's wearing like military boots as well. So it's still very soldier-like. Love the angles here. Really nice to kind of be a little bit high and on top. Very beautiful. And just going back and forth like that. It's also reminding me a little bit of the Star Wars film, technically the third, but officially like the sixth, the one where Darth Vader becomes Darth Vader. Revenge of the Sith, that's what it's reminding me of. In Revenge of the Sith, where Anakin becomes Darth Vader. Spoiler alert, but I'm guessing you know what I'm talking about. They're also on like a volcano planet. Even though this isn't a volcano planet, it still reminds me a lot of it. I guess it's because of the rock, and there seems to be some sort of like firelight in the cracks of the rock. It's reminding me a little bit of that, and it's within the vein of this entire like series of videos anyway. So very cool. Absolutely love that. And this vortex. Look at those effects, man. It's crazy. Crazy. I always wonder what their budgets are, because if you're a filmmaker like me, you know that this stuff is really expensive. Very impressive. Very, very, very impressive. So we've had the whole segment with Tech 9, and now we're moving into the last part, and I'm waiting for Alex Terrible to show up. So I'm sure that this is going to be that part. So let's watch and see. Oh, the Balrog. Oh, that's him. Like we've seen before. That's insane. Wow. Okay, it started autoplaying into prequel, which actually came after Ronald, so I missed this one, then did prequel. Wow, okay, so I should have probably watched it in the right order, but here we are. I already knew a little bit more of what was going to happen, but that was so cool. And then the Balrogs showed up. It was basically a Balrog, so I wasn't too wrong saying like it felt like a mix of The Matrix and Lord of the Rings. And then the prequel ended up being very Dune, so it's really like also an homage to, you know, all these cool sci-fi fantasy series that we're so familiar with. Absolutely love that. Watch the World Burn is the other one that I looked at, which is a little older. It's 2 years ago, but that's where we saw the laser, very, you know, Cyclops, X-Men, laser eyes thing that we see again here. I'm just blown away. A couple more things. This is where, what I'm coining is the Balrog anyway, right? Because to me, that's what he looks like. And it looks like Mount Doom too. Very impressive visuals here. And he is fighting with Ronnie here. And they're going back and forth. And am I wrong to think that he was being voiced by Alex Terrible and that they were sort of almost having like a conversation back and forth, although sometimes it felt like they were screaming at the same time? That was very cool. Look at this. Very cool. Very, very, very cool visuals. What an incredible job. And I'm just thinking, you know, this character is also giving me a little bit of like Diablo 3 vibes, or Diablo vibes anyway. But either way, it is really cool to see all these sort of references and how they're taking those and like making it into their own thing and still making it very enjoyable to kind of pick out all these little things. So cool. So cool. So it looks like after this, prequel was the last video, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, prequel was the last one. So that was 7 months ago. And I feel like we're about due something new. You know, 7 months is quite a long time to go between videos, especially when there was only 3 months between Ronald and prequel. So I am sure that we are about to see something new. I have yet to watch and cover Last Resort, which I will do too, but it'll come to the channel eventually, and maybe before they do like a new thing. I'll have to go back and watch everything in order, but this was so cool. So cool. As a little bonus, I'm going to also record a quick review of, like, we're going to watch the behind the scenes together. It's only a 3-minute video, which will be available on my Patreon. So please go check that out if you're interested. We're going to take a look at what we're actually, how they actually made this. And I can tell you a little bit more about, what you're actually seeing in the BTS. So if you're keen on that, come check that out. My Patreon starts at only $1. So you can come hang out. It's fun. We also have a Discord channel where you can come hang out. That one is free. And don't forget to subscribe and tag along for more Falling in Reverse, more Sabaton, more, all these amazing crazy bands that are doing just the coolest stuff in music at the moment. And of course, don't forget to give the video a like so we can reach more people. Thank you so much for coming to hang out, and I hope I'll see you on the next one. Peace.